Citizens for Coalition Change spokesperson Fadzayi Mahere says, despite that democracy is for sale in Zimbabwe, her party has fielded its presidential candidate, all the 210 aspiring legislators, and over 1,000 councilors nationally. She speaks to journalists at the nomination court.
As for the presidency, we're more than ready to secure a citizens' victory for change. The same can be said for Parliament. We have fielded candidates in every single one of the 210 constituencies. The reports that I'm receiving so far, and as far as council is concerned, is that we're well on course to ensure that we field the required 1,970 candidates for local authorities. What this means is this is the highest number of fielded candidates on behalf of an opposition party in the history of Zimbabwe. And so on that score alone, the CCC has done extremely well. We are proud as well of our very novel and innovative community consensus candidate selection process, which has yielded a brand new crop of leaders across the board, a group of diverse, competent, ethical leaders, which we are confident will be able to assist President Nelson Chamisa as we usher in a new great Zimbabwe that puts the citizens first. So the reason for the delays was that ZEC wanted confirmation of our specimen signatures, and so we quickly liaised with the Elections Directorate. We got the correspondence, the required correspondence from Councillor Ian Makoni, who is head of the Elections Directorate, and as soon as that was brought to ZEC, they saw that all our papers were in order, so there was no problem there. Certainly in Harare and in all provinces really, the CCC is on top of it. Well, obviously, democracy should never be for sale, but we know that ZANU-PF is trying to do everything it can to shut our candidates out. And what we've said is we will make the required sacrifices. We are a citizens' movement. We have ensured that every single person who is duly nominated on our behalf is able to field their candidacy. We don't want money to be an obstacle, but it should never be the case. Certainly when we are in government, we don't want democracy to be on sale. It's an absolute scandal that a person has to pay 20,000 United States dollars. Have you noticed that they don't even have the confidence to put that amount in their own currency? And also for Parliament, that one has to field, today I think it was almost 7 million Zimbabwe dollars, the equivalent of 1,000 United States dollars. There, ZEC isn't even confident of the US dollar, which is why when they pegged these fees, they couldn't even peg them in Zimbabwe dollars. And these are some of the things that we're certainly going to change when we have a citizens' government. We'll ensure that we've got a stable currency, a stable economy, and a Zimbabwe that works for everyone. President Chamisa was very clear on Sunday when we held a briefing with the press that anybody who had any grievances, there was a procedure that had to be followed, and each and every one of those grievances was dealt with. He also said in his address that it's one's democratic right to run as an independent, but we know that every single change champion who's sincere about the struggle, and there have been a number of people who, for one reason or the other, were not the fielded candidate, and they've said, look, we throw our weight behind President Chamisa and the CCC. So at the end of the day, it's not about positions, but it's about ensuring first and foremost that we secure the required at least 4 to 6 million votes on behalf of President Nelson Chamisa so that we win. And once that happens, there'll be plenty of space in the sky for every single bird to fly, and every single change champion will have a role to play in the new great Zimbabwe. Mr. Beatty is not standing as an independent. That's fake news.
But is he on the select list?
That I think will be communicated by the Elections Directorate, where they give a full report to the public of what transpired today. The real work begins now for the CCC. This is the moment we have been waiting for. President Nelson Chamisa made it very clear at the start of the year that our agenda, our 2023 agenda, is to win a citizens' victory for change. One of the key features of that is we're going to have a citizens' mass campaign, a citizens' campaign driven primarily by the citizens. What this is going to mean is that it's all stops go now as we secure a victory on behalf of the people. Secondly, he made it very clear that we're going to have citizen representatives. So every single change champion who's been selected to represent a community is going to be on the ground in that community, ensuring that they mobilize in line with the targets that have been set. Finally, it's important to stress that we are doing all the heavy lifting to ensure that we're in a strong position to defend the vote. Our first order of business going forward from here is to ensure that we've got the required 4 polling agents for every single one of the 12,500 polling stations across the country. We are going to leave no stone unturned to ensure that we defend the vote. We know that ZANU-PF can never win a free and fair election in Zimbabwe, and so we're going to make sure that we defend that victory. Thank you.